Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling Group. I'm your host, as always, Ryan, and today we are going to be taking a look at the top 5 worst champions in wrestling history. It was surprising to me when I decided to do this video just how many terrible champions we have had in the world of wrestling. This video could have easily been a top 20 or even 30. But I decided to keep it with just 5, or this video could end up going on for hours. So the criteria of this is just generally anyone that has held a title that has been terrible. It can be a world champion, it can be any company, any era. So who is the worst champion in wrestling history? Well, join me as I rank them from 5 down to number 1. And as always, feel free to leave your top 5 list in the comment section below. And while you do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button too. So in at number 5, Josh Matthews, Impact Grand Champion. So in January of 2018, then Impact Grand Champion, Matt Sydal was paired with Josh Matthews. He called Josh his spiritual guide and decided for some strange reason to gift Josh the championship despite him not actually being a wrestler. This for some reason was just accepted by TNA, thus making Josh the official Grand Champion. Now if that wasn't odd enough, just 2 short weeks later, Matt Sydal defended the title on behalf of his spiritual guide and lost it. This meant that Josh Matthews won and lost the championship without actually having a match. We're just glad it only lasted 2 weeks. Number 4, Andre the Giant is the WWF champion. Now Andre had a long-standing feud with Hulk Hogan, and during WWF main event, Andre actually defeated the Hulkster to finally get his hands on the WWF Championship. Sounds good so far, right? Well, this is where it all goes sour. Andre then decided to sell Ted DiBiase the title because, well, everybody has a price. And DiBiase was then forced to vacate the title because he'd never actually won it and was never then officially recognised as champion by the company. It's a shame that Andre's only reign as the WWF champion came to such a quick and forgettable end. She had Andre winning his first title, then sells it, so he loses the belt to Ted DiBiase, who then claims to be the champion, has to vacate it because he never actually won it, and then everyone's left in a big mess, and that is why that Andre comes in at number 4. I mean, technically you could say Ted DiBiase as well, but like I say, he was never officially recognised at this time as the WF champion. So in at number 3, Vince McMahon is the ECW champion. So at WrestleMania 23, WWE had themselves a Battle of the Billionaires match, which put the WWE chairman Vince McMahon against Donald Trump. Both of the billionaires would select someone to wrestle in the match on their behalf, and the loser would have their head shaved. Vince lost the match and his hair, and then would decide to go after Bobby Lashley, who was Trump's pick, for their WrestleMania clash. So at Backlash in 2007, Vince would win the ECW championship from Bobby Lashley in a 3-on-1 handicap match, which included Umaga and Shane McMahon. What followed was Vince living out a version of himself that he loved to show, doing general questionable promos backstage. I mean, you can check some of the clips out on YouTube. They were pretty questionable at the time, even more so now, and continuing to crap on a company that he put out of business. Number 2, David Arquette, WCW champion. That's right, the guy who is most known for his role in the Scream franchise actually became WCW World Heavyweight Champion for a short time in 2000. Lifelong wrestling fan Arquette had just landed himself the lead role in a wrestling comedy film called Ready to Rumble. The movie firm had a partnership with WCW, so naturally the two worlds intertwined. On an episode of Thunder, Arquette teamed with DDP to take on Jeff Jarrett and Eric Bischoff, with the stipulation being whoever scored the pinfall in the match would become WCW champion. And yes, you guessed it, David Arquette was the guy to do just that. Now thankfully this run only lasted a few short weeks before he dropped the title to Jarrett in a cage match that also included DDP. So that begs the question, if David Arquette, the actor, was in at number 2, then who could be the worst champion in wrestling history? Well, if you're an old guy like me, you should know. In at number 1, Vince Russo, WCW champion. Man, I was a WCW guy growing up, but luckily for me, by this point I had jumped ship to the WWF, although I have seen this match, and for some reason, on more than one occasion. So Vince Russo once played a part in WWF's exciting run during the Attitude Era. He had been a head writer for some great storylines like Austin vs. McMahon, D-Generation X, and the rise of Mick Foley. But by the time he joined WCW, it became more of a vanity project for Russo, hence him putting the company's World Championship on himself. Fans didn't take to Russo as an on-screen authority figure, but that just made him double down and in the end pulled the trigger on the storyline, which had him defeat World Champion Booker T in a steel cage match after Goldberg speared him through the side of the cage. Now, what was the point in all this? I still have no clue, as Russo vacated the title the very next week, which, by the way, was the 7th time that the WCW World Championship had been vacated that year. Booker T then won the vacated title, thus proving what fans knew all along: the only reason for this was for Russo's own vanity. And now he's such a lovely guy who speaks so highly on the world of wrestling. Anyway, so there you have it, our top 5 worst champions in wrestling history. Feel like we've missed anyone? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button today.